Good morning. It's great to be able to join you virtually, and I'm sorry I'm not there in person today. I originally thought I'd be able to, but I have my inaugural lecture at Maynooth University this afternoon, so I couldn't be in Galway this morning. What I'd like to do is just to say a few words to introduce some of the ideas in my recent book, which I wrote after spending over 30 years in climate and energy and sustainability in higher education, and thinking about ways to integrate sustainability into the curriculum and into everything we do in our higher education institutions. And what I found throughout this time is that we're really not doing enough, and we're not really transformative enough, and we're actually, by not being transformative enough, we're actually reinforcing the status quo and kind of blocking more transformative action. So that's what the book is about, and it's based on my own background. And my career began with a PhD in environmental science and engineering, and then I've become more interested in kind of the social science aspect of things. So very quickly, just to introduce what I mean by climate justice. And for me, what I think that means is a paradigm shift toward transformation. And it means moving away from narrowly thinking about individual behavior change and thinking more about bigger collective action for systemic and structural change. It also means moving away from only thinking about the climate crisis in terms of technical terms, a scientific problem that needs a technical fix, toward acknowledging we actually need structural, social, and economic changes for the changes that are needed to be effective. It also means moving away from profit-seeking priorities toward well-being priorities, moving from a wealth accumulation mindset that is so pervasive toward a sufficiency mindset. It also means moving away from linear assumptions toward much more complex system assumptions, and especially in our STEM fields, we tend to kind of narrow things down and reduce the things we're thinking about into manageable pieces, which doesn't always connect with the complexity of the Earth systems in particular. Another big idea is, in addition to studying innovation and new things, we need to study and understand how to move away from the policies, practices, technologies, systems that are no longer serving us and actually causing destruction and suffering. And also we need to move away from systems and teaching things and that promote concentrating wealth and power toward thinking more about how to distribute wealth and power. And I've created a short video about the book and some of the ideas in the book that I will show here now.
The climate crisis is destabilizing our world, worsening inequities and marginalization, exacerbating economic vulnerabilities, and disrupting everything that is essential for human flourishing. Meanwhile, universities are inspiring places to explore ideas and expand our collective understanding of the world around us. But they are also traditional institutions that are slow to change and are not accessible to everyone. For a more hopeful future, transformative social and economic changes are urgently needed. New structures and systems are necessary, and higher education has a big role to play. The injustices of the worsening climate crisis are forcing us to ask new questions about the role of universities. How can the power of higher education be leveraged to shape a more healthy and stable future for all? Can universities become critical social infrastructure to advance transformative social change by imagining and creating hopeful futures? As the climate crisis gets worse, what can universities do to slow down ecological destruction and human suffering? I've been working in universities for over 30 years, first as a student, then as a researcher, and now as a professor of climate justice. My career has been shaped by imagining how higher education can contribute to transformative changes that address the injustices and instability of the climate crisis. In my new book, Climate Justice and the University, I propose a paradigm shift in higher education toward what I call climate justice universities. Climate justice universities have 5 key characteristics. 1. Climate justice universities commit to aligning teaching, learning, and research with the principles of climate justice, which includes upholding human rights for all, reducing climate vulnerabilities, redressing economic inequities, phasing out fossil fuels, resisting militarization, and redistributing power. 2. Climate justice universities focus on unlearning as well as learning. Unlearning describes the process of letting go of existing and constraining knowledge, beliefs, behaviors, and assumptions to allow for new perspectives and information that may not align with previous understanding. 3. Climate justice universities invest in exnovation research as well as innovation. Exnovation refers to the processes of eliminating or discontinuing products, services, technologies, practices, and ideas that are widely used but no longer serve society well. Exnovation research is needed to phase out fossil fuels, plastics, and many harmful agrochemicals. 4. Climate justice universities need to be publicly funded with a common good mission. Too many universities have become reliant on and beholden to corporations and wealthy donors, preventing transformation because powerful interests benefit from reinforcing the status quo. Public institutions with a common good mission are needed to advance transformative change. And finally, climate justice universities need to be distributed geographically to serve all communities, especially marginalized and climate vulnerable communities. Rather than being disconnected ivory towers, universities could be more like public libraries, making resources accessible to all and collaborating with communities to co-design and co-produce knowledge that people in local communities need. For more information, check out Climate Justice and the University, Shaping a Hopeful Future for All.
Thank you. And if you're interested in getting more involved beyond this conference, you can also consider joining Climate Justice Universities Union, which is an all-Ireland, Ireland-based collective of people from different universities and communities throughout the island of Ireland who are advocating for larger transformation in our universities for the transformation that society needs. I'll also just mention the book is available to order at any bookseller, but it's also now available open access. Thank you so much, and please get in touch.